one of the words that I want to go over now, it's going to be a major topic of this course, but it's for some reason, and I've never quite understood why, doesn't strike fear in students, but creates a lot of anxiety. Fractions, for some reason, students don't like the, but in the essence of math, you're going to see in the next few videos are why these are actually the more useful and the easier even aspects of math that we're able to use. And that's why I want to build a stronger foundation now. Say we look at a ratio of 4/5, right? It's a fraction, 4/5. What that means is how many parts to how many whole sections or total, as you would think about this. Here's what I want us to think about is think about this like a candy bar. You'll also hear me here about with a pie piece or something like that, where the pie, the candy bar, is the whole entire candy bar. And what we're looking at is how many parts do we have? Now, when we break this up into 5 parts, what we're looking at is the numerator, right? The parts is our denominator. The top, the 4, is our numerator. That's how many parts say we're eating of this candy bar. That's why we would say we're eating 4 of the 5 parts. Now, what this is going to help us do is when we think about reducing, or as I like to call it, unreducing fractions, especially like if we need a common denominator, if I were to take that 4/5 and I were to say, what if I multiply the top and the bottom by 2? That gives me 8/10. And what that means is if we go back to our original candy bar, what that 2 is really doing is doubling. We're cutting each of those pieces in half. Whereas if I had 5 original parts, well, now I have 10 original parts, right? That's still the whole, that's still the entire candy bar. But look at how many we have now is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is how many of those parts. We haven't changed. We're still eating the same amount of candy bar, but that's what that's doing. When you say multiplying or reducing, commonly we see this as reducing. Like if we were given a problem where we multiply and divide and we get all that, we go through all of our operations and we get down to where it says something like 10/25, completely unrelated to this right now. And we would say, oh, well, what's the number that goes into both of those? I would say, well, I know that, okay, yeah, in 0 and 5, I'm going to divide by 5, and that gives me 2/5. Well, that 2/5 is the same fraction as that 10/25. What that's looking like is, say I take a candy bar and I split it up into 25 pieces. I ate 10 of them. That's the same as if I split it up into 5 pieces and I ate 2 of them. It's this idea of reducing or unreducing fractions that is going to get us through that. That's going to be one of the key elements. But I want us to always bring fractions back to a candy bar. How many total parts do I have? How many parts am I using or looking at? Eating, as if it's in terms of a candy bar, it's how many parts to the whole candy bar.